Over at Concordia University, they're looking for couples over 50 who want to change their lifestyle and adopt a more healthy lifestyle in a more well-rounded way. They're looking for study participants, and psychology professor Jean-Phillippe Gouin joins us now. Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for
Thank
joining
you for
us.
having me.
No worries. Thanks for.
Pleasure.
So tell us about the EDRAN study. So evaluation of didactic rest, activity, and nutrition. So I take it you're trying to tackle a few issues at once.
Yeah, the main issues that we're trying to investigate in this study is if you're trying to support your partner in changing their health behavior, their diet, their physical activity, their sleep, what's the most effective way to do it? So let me give you three kind of examples to contextualize this a bit more. Let's say that you and your partner during the pandemic, you found that both of you guys have gained weight, and then you want to go back to a healthier lifestyle. So what's the best strategy that would help you to do that? Or what happened if you found that your partner, but not yourself, have gained weight, and you would like to support them in having a healthier lifestyle? What would be a good strategy to do that? Or if your partner just has been diagnosed with hypertension, and then you say, well, I think they should be doing more exercises. So what can you do to help them do more exercises? So in couples, when we're trying to change our lifestyle, there's a lot of relational issues that can be activated when we're trying to support, although our intention is good, but it may sometimes have not the intended effect on our partner. So the goal of this study is to basically identify what is the most successful way to support one partner in terms of making these lifestyle changes.
Very, very interesting approach, and I guess that's what the dyadic means when you say the EDRAN evaluation of dyadic rest, activity, and nutrition. It means so you're really looking at it not just from the perspective, because so often when we look at fitness, we talk about what is it that the individual can do in terms of making lifestyle changes and so on. But the idea of a couple I find super interesting. And why did you decide to specifically look at couples over 50?
Okay, so we know that when you choose a mate, usually we will tend to pick someone that has similar characteristics, similar values, and similar behavior. So on average, it's not true for all couples, but on average, people will tend to partner with someone that looks like them. But we also know that once people start cohabitating, that their health habits tend to converge. And the reason why we're focusing on couples over 50 is that people that have been cohabitating for many years tend to be, in some ways, more interdependent in their behaviors. Not all couples are the same, but for example, what you're eating is likely largely influenced by what your partner is also eating.
I find that so interesting, and that you say also, when you say someone who looks like them, when you form a couple, you mean in terms of physical health and sort of physical habits and so on?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Whether they value exercise, for example,
Right.
Whether they would like to do movie nights on Friday, on Saturday. So we tend to pick people that are similar to us on average.
Mm-hmm. And that can change significantly throughout the course of the relationship. Of course, I've seen many examples of that, of couples where, the two go in completely different directions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
The tricky part also from COVID is that a lot of people developed some bad habits together during the pandemic.
Yes, exactly. So, and then what we see is then the question is, if you guys see it as a shared goal that we need to be changing our habits, but also we are in a situation where, for example, watching TV together has become the relaxing time that we have for the two of us. Well, that might actually be a context where changing these behaviors, not considering the partner, make it much more difficult to change our lifestyle over the long run. And that's what we've been arguing, that in this context, it's actually helpful to involve the partner in the change process.
Now, I'm actually in your target group here. I'm in a couple and I'm over 50. We're both over 50 now. And we have a rule in our couple, which is that we're both runners. And the rule is that we're not allowed to guilt the other partner for running without us. So if the other one runs, we have to be encouraging. We have to say, oh, that's great. And not, why didn't you wait for me? Right? Because we want to be, so we try to keep that, positive outlook on exercise. And the second rule that we have is when either one of the two of us suggests going for a run, then automatically the other one has to agree. Because it's really easy to find all kinds of reasons why not to go. But our biggest challenge, I would say, is illness. If one of us is ill, if one of us has an injury, and that, I think, becomes difficult to deal with. Are you expecting to also track couples where one member of the couple is dealing with illness or injuries?
Yes, and I think generally speaking, also general stress level, right? Because if you are at a time where at work it's much busier, if there are things that are disrupting your daily routine, I think that's where it's often harder for one person to maintain this lifestyle. I think with the illnesses, the big challenge is that these are lasting often for a very long time. So then it's about re-envisioning how do we maintain this healthy lifestyle in a different context.
How do we maintain that lifestyle? And do you have any tips? Because one tip from a book that my wife and I read over the pandemic called Atomic Habits was to create habit stacking or lists of habits that you do together on a daily or weekly basis.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think when we think about our daily routine. So first, why it's hard to have. I guess what I need to specify is that different couples will need different things. I think that there's not a one-size-fits-all type of rule, and we want to assess where you are. So in your daily routine, are you guys really interconnected? So do you tend to eat together? Do you tend to spend, for example, weekends together? Are there times where you can do strategic choice to support your partner, for example, choosing to do a more active leisure activities versus something more seated is an easy way to help the partner be more active. But if you are more in a couple where you have, for example, very different level of fitness, you might not be doing the activity together. So then it's about, okay, how can I facilitate taking over some tasks so that my partner could, for example, go work out, do something more active. So I think that's, you need to see what will be in the context of your relationship. Do you guys tend to do things together versus separate? Then I think that would lead to different types of strategies.
And what I like about this, focusing on this age group as well, or another interesting aspect, is that this is usually the age by which children are no longer an issue. They're no longer in the picture.
Yes.
So the couples are at a different stage in life now, and which is probably, would you say, going to define the rest of their lives, essentially, whatever path they're on as of 50.
Absolutely. So when people start talking, about retirement, 50 might be early for some, but to say, okay, am I able to start changing my lifestyle now to make sure that these habits will be long-lasting?
Jean-Phillippe Gouin, psychology professor at Concordia University. How can people take part in the study if they want to participate?
So the easiest way is to email us at couple@concordia.ca, so couple@concordia.ca, or you can call us at 514-848-2206.
So that's couple@concordia.ca?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Jean-Phillippe Gouin, psychology prof. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.